Welcome back to another live and amplified special episode of the Hoedown Showdown live here at CRS. And today we have a very special guest. We have Jurgensmeyer. How's it going today, man?
Going great. Thanks for having me.
You just blew my mind. You got to actually play some of your music for my beloved White Sox.
Yes, sir.
Which they're not looking too good right now, but you know.
It happens. It's okay.
So how was that experience for you?
It was amazing. I mean, we were kind of talking before we started. I'm a huge sports fan, and, there's not many musicians that are.
Yeah.
So I was in, heaven getting to sit there just stand on an MLB field at home plate and perform my own music for all of these people as they were pouring in to come watch their favorite baseball team play.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact that the White Sox made me and my guitar player our own custom jerseys with our last names and numbers. So I have a White Sox jersey hanging up in my closet.
No.
And if anybody ever asks me, did you play for the White Sox? Absolutely, no. I played for the White Sox 100%. Why do you think I have a jersey with my last name on it? Of course I played for the White Sox. I was drafted in the first round. So I thought it was so fun. The experience was great. It was very hot. It was It was a hot Chicago day.
I'm guessing it was probably like July, August.
It was. I think it was August.
Okay.
It was a warm one.
Those summer months in Chicago are nothing. Like everybody talks about how hot like Arizona and New Mexico and even where I'm at now, Texas.
Absolutely.
And it's like, oh, go to Chicago in July, August.
See, I had never been to Chicago until that trip, and we were only there for like a day and a half. So we got there in the evening, and it wasn't hot.
Yeah.
But that next day, it got hot real quick.
Oh, yeah, for
and
sure.
I'm a jeans and boots guy, so I was on the field, wearing jeans and boots playing. I changed into shorts real fast when I was there to just watch the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So you're based out of Nashville now?
Yes, sir. So I was born here in Nashville.
Okay.
I was born just a few blocks away, actually.
So you're a rare unicorn.
There's not many of us.
Yeah.
Anytime I meet someone that goes, yeah, I'm actually from here, I go, no way. Where were you born?
Let me see the birth certificate.
I know. I'm like, where were you born? If I get their number and it's a 615 number, I'm like, oh my gosh, we got one.
Nice.
Or you start talking about like high schools or little towns around here. I'm like, oh, this is great. It's another one of me.
Yeah, that's cool. So what was it like growing up in Nashville? Like, obviously, Nashville is the music capital. And
Yes,
so what was
sir.
it like growing up in Nashville proper?
Exciting. I always make the joke, and I'm going to say this a ton today because it's so valid.
Yeah.
Whenever you're from Nashville, you're going to be involved in music in some way, shape, or form. And so that's exactly what happened with me. My parents used to own a bar here in Nashville, so I started getting up on stage when I was 3.
Nice.
I was trying to sing into a broken microphone before I even knew words.
Yeah.
So I was bound to be involved in entertainment. And then very quickly, when I was 4, kind of started acting and going out to LA when I was 5. So, I mean, it's all because of Nashville. I mean, if I like to think that if I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Colorado, I would still have been able to, make this insane dream possible. But the chances of it are so slim, and it's some people say it's better to be lucky than good, and I guess I was lucky to be born in this amazing city.
Yeah, for sure. So when you went out, let's talk about the acting a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't planning on going on this little detour, but did you act in anything specific? Or
Yes, sir. So I've worked for everybody from Disney to Fox to ABC to Netflix. I was on a show called Last Man Standing, which was on Fox with Tim Allen and Nancy Travis. So I played their grandson on that show. I played Boyd Baxter on that show for a couple of years. And then, I do a lot of voiceover work for Disney and Nickelodeon and Netflix and Amazon.
Nice.
I'm actually SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild. I'm on the board of directors for the local office here in Nashville. I'm the youngest board member.
Nice.
I got elected to that back in September.
Nice.
So I've been around. I've been in the industry as far as acting goes for 15 years now, which is kind of strange to say. People don't really take you seriously when you're 19 and say that, but it's the truth because I've been working since I was 4.
Yeah, for sure. And so when did you kind of decide to make that switch? Because obviously, doing a show like Last Man Standing with Tim Allen and that amazing crew that they had there.
Yes, sir.
When did you kind of decide to make that switch from acting and start focusing more in on your music?
That's a great question. They both have always been a big part of my life because really music came first. Started getting on stage when I was 3. So even though they were very close in time frame, it came first. One thing that really, I started putting out music, in like 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
But it really became prominent when COVID happened. and it sounds silly, but COVID was a blessing in disguise for me. You know, I could do my voiceover work from home.
Yeah.
My dad built me a little recording booth in our house in Missouri in the basement. So I'd go down in there, I'd record and just send over the files. And it gave me a chance to really focus on writing.
Yeah.
And so my last album that I put out, I guess a year and a half ago now, I put it out, and majority of those songs were COVID songs.
Yeah.
Were written during COVID from my house, whether it was over Zoom or the brave songwriters that wanted to still write in person.
Yeah.
I was one of those. I always wanted to be in person.
Yeah.
And so that it gave me a chance to not have to worry about acting as much and really focus on music, which is something I've always loved.
Yeah.
I love storytelling, which is what I love most about the entertainment industry. And that's it. That's kind of when I made that it wasn't so much as like a conscious decision. It just kind of happened, and it was the path God decided to take me down, and I'm so blessed He let me kind of go off with it.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people will have that same reaction about the pandemic, where it was kind of this weird blessing in disguise, because it was like gave people the opportunity to actually explore what they wanted to do with their lives.
Absolutely. I think everything in life is an opportunity to grow and learn, and things are only a curse if you let them be. Yeah. If you let everything be a blessing and a chance to learn and grow, then nothing can ever bring you down.
Yeah,
and that's my mentality for life and everything, especially a career that I could have there's a lot worse jobs out there than playing a guitar on stage or talking in front of a camera. Yeah. And so I'm very blessed, and I don't take it for granted at all.
Nice. And so, speaking of your music, what are you working on currently? What do you got going on?
Yes, sir. So I have a new song I just put out about a month ago now. It's called Coffee Bar. Very excited about it. And then a new album that will be out within another couple of months. And so far, we've released 3 songs off the album: Falling 2, All I Need, and Coffee Bar. Yep. And then we have another one coming out for radio in April, which I'm very excited to be talking about and kind of, teasing today. It's called Good Days. I'm very excited about it. And one thing that I said about the last album was every one of those songs I wrote was either about me or one of my co-writers. Yeah. That's how we make the song the most relatable. Well, now, this next album, every one of those songs is about me. Every one of those songs is something I've experienced. And so I really am kind of taking a shot at being vulnerable with people and telling them about life things that I've gone through. Anything from heartbreak to faith to happy days, good days. And I'm really excited for people to hear that song, because that'll be the 4th song off of the album. And it's just, it's going to be so fun when it comes out.
I think that's kind of the secret that a lot of musicians are starting to figure out now, is that authenticity factor, and just
absolutely
living that life of, or telling the stories of the life you've lived instead of telling the stories of the life you want to live.
At 100%. Yeah. Because audience can smell bullcrap. Yeah. And they can know when you're not being truthful to them and not being authentic. And I think we see that a lot through, like, Kelsey Ballerini, when she released her EP Rolling Up the Welcome Mat, when she when Zach Bryan puts songs out where you hear him sing a note slightly off key. Yeah. And it's him being authentic. Yeah. He doesn't care. Yeah. And that's what works. And I think it's pioneers like that give me the courage to want to be that authentic. That's what I've always wanted to do, but been scared to do. Yeah. And now I've got 2 acoustic songs on the bottom of this album that are one of the songs is the only song I'm ever going to be putting out so far that I wrote by myself.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so it is purely me. And it's just, both of those songs are just me being vulnerable to people, and everybody I play it for just tells me how much they can relate to it. Yeah. And that gives me hope for music as a whole. That shows you what music can do, is people want to be able to relate to what they're hearing and not feel alone.
Yeah, for sure. 100% agreed. And I must say, I had the opportunity to listen to Coffee Bar. I had a 12-hour car ride up here, so I had a lot of hours to fill.
Yes, sir.
And so once I kind of got through the initial run of all the music of every artist that I'm interviewing this weekend, I kept going back to Coffee Bar, because it was it was that right amount of pep without it being about coffee, or not about called Coffee Bar.
Yeah.
But it almost could be a weird romance with coffee.
Absolutely. Yeah, it could be.
I'm sitting there listening to it, and I know it's not, but just listening to it, I'm like, man, you changed like one or two weird words. This guy could have like
make that song about drinking some coffee and falling in love with your cup of coffee.
Right.
I tell you what, as a coffee drinker, there have been a few times where I've had a good cup of coffee and I feel like I'm in love with that cup of coffee.
Fair.
But that song, what's funny about that song is the idea stemmed from being a teenager. There's kind of like the trend people post where if you're a teenager going through an airport or on a plane and you see somebody that looks like they're around your same age, the thought that like slips through your mind just for like half a second is, was that the person that I was like going to marry at some point in my life, like in a different universe? And so I had that idea and brought it to my co-writer Angel, and he was like, man, that'd be so cool. And you could write it like almost from the perspective of sitting in a coffee shop and just watching that revolving door of people walk in and out. You see like that one girl walk by, you just get the glimpse of her and you're like, whoa, what was that?
Yeah.
And that's happened to so many people that I was like, I have to put that in there because I'm guilty of having that happen to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's definitely a good song, and I'm glad
Thank
it's
you so much. I'm so glad you liked it.
Yeah, and I can't wait to hear, you said the new song's dropping in April?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Can't wait. I'll have to get it pre-saved. Speaking of pre-saves, where can people get more information about you, your music?
Absolutely. So my website is a great place to find that out, along with all my social media. It's all under the same thing. My name, Jet Jurgensmeyer. It's Jet with one T like a plane. Super fun way to remember it. And a really easy way to find me is if you type in Jet and then J, maybe a U after that, I'll pop up. There's not a lot of Jet Jurgensmeyers out there. It's not a very common name.
Because somebody was asking me if I was interviewing you, but they couldn't remember how to spell your name. And I was like, here's how I figured it out. It's Jet like the plane, Jurgens as in the hand lotion, and then Meyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's spelled exactly how it sounds, but it sounds very daunting because it's a very German last name.
Because in the back of my head, I was like, is it Jurgensmeyer? Is that J? Yeah.
So that's actually another proper pronunciation of it. We have Jurgensmeyer still in Germany that pronounce it Jurgensmeyer.
Okay.
And they spell it slightly differently. They have like another letter in there and umlauts over the U.
Yeah.
And so when apparently, as the story goes, when my family came over here, they got rid of the E, Juer, and got rid of the umlauts to come across more American. But that E was the only silent letter in the last name. It's the only one that wasn't pronounced. So it changed nothing as to how the name sounds. So I don't know what the point of it was.
Fair. My grandpa did the exact same thing when he got married. So I'm Polish. He took the ski out of the last of our names, but nobody knows how to pronounce our name as it's spelled now. But if you tell them, oh, it's Kwiatkowski, they know exactly how to pronounce it. So
that's a daunting. I wouldn't even know where to start with spelling that one.
Yeah, it's an experience. But really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you.
And then and if anybody wants to listen to your music, we'll have the information saved below and all that fun stuff.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will catch you all later.